always with our read and zoom. And then for unique today, we are finishing up chapter 4. The war begins. How exciting! And then for our small reading groups, if you're in PCI 1, raise your hand. That's you back there.
Raise your hand.
There you go. So your words today are be and or. And so you're continuing to read a warm home. And then if you're in PCI 2, raise your hand. Oh, not you.
Good job.
There you go. So you guys you're reading the book, The New Dog, and your focus words, you got 4 today. Just, took, each, and need. No, you're fine. And so that is your assignment for today. And if you are in the ELA group, raise your hands.
Raise your hand.
Mr. Parrish, he's raising
Raise
his
your
hand.
hand. There you
Yeah. Finishing up, or no, we're starting Macbeth today.
go.
So we have Act 1. Exciting. So yesterday we did the intro. Today we're starting Act 1. How cool. That's exciting. And then for news to you, this week we're continuing with our Super Bowl activity or our article. And we're doing an extension activity. So we're talking about the MVP award. And then that's it for that. At 10:20, going live for math. And unique today, we're talking about adding amounts to $5. So continuing to add some money together. And then for explore math, we're talking about a visiting friends activity. Probably dealing with some time, if I had to guess. And for your news to you math, we're talking about which number is greater, the bigger number. Sound like fun?
That sounds like fun.
I'm so glad.
Simple review activity. And then for our social lesson today, we are still working on the My Boyfriend. Woo. Talking about relationships. Are you guys enjoying that chapter so far?
No.
Anyone?
No.
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 I'm saying no. You don't want to learn about having a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Oh my goodness. Y'all are too.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Dang.
I knew someone wanted to learn about it. Alrighty, so that's what's going on today. So I'm gonna let Miss Taylor take it away with the war begins.
All right, guys, let me fix my screen. Okay, so today's vocabulary word is soldier. Soldier is a person who serves in an army. So what kind of word is this? Is it a noun, verb, or adjective?
It's a noun.
It's a noun. Great job, because a soldier is a person. Okay, who can use soldier in a sentence for me?
The soldiers fought in the war.
Soldiers fought in the war. I like that. Soldiers fought in the war. Can anyone else use soldiers in a sentence for me?
Soldiers have got.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
The soldiers went to war.
Huh?
He said the soldiers went into the army.
The soldiers went into the army. I like that one. All right. Those are great sentences, friends. I like those very, very much. Okay, let's hop over to our chapter. All right, chapter 4, the war begins.
The first battle of the American Revolutionary War was in Lexington. The colonists had a group of men called Minutemen. They would be ready to fight in a minute's notice. They heard Paul Revere's warning and were ready to defend the town.
So where was the first battle?
So the first battle
Was in. Yes, it was
He said Lexington.
someone. All right, and the group of colonists were called the Minutemen because they would be ready to fight in a minute's notice.
The British soldiers came marching through. Suddenly, a gun was shot. This was the shot heard round the world. This shot started the war. Then the British soldiers marched to Concord. In Concord, the Minutemen stopped the British soldiers who were called Redcoats.
So what started the war?
gunshot.
The gunshot started the war. Thank you. And then what were the British soldiers called?
Concord.
What were they called?
Redcoat.
The Redcoats. The British soldiers were the Redcoats, and the colonists were the Minutemen.
Leaders from each of the colonies met for the Second Continental Congress. They added other members including John Hancock, Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. They wanted to find a way to not have a war, but the colonists and the King of Great Britain were mad.
So what members were added to the Continental Congress? What members?
John Hancock.
And
Thomas Jefferson.
and
Benjamin
Benjamin
Franklin.
Franklin. Very good. John Hancock, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin were added to the Second Continental Congress. And they wanted to find a way to not have a war, but the colonists and the King of Great Britain were just so mad at each other.
The Second Continental Congress did many important things. First, it created an army for the colonies. They named George Washington the leader of the army. Second, the leaders wrote another letter to the King of Great Britain asking for a compromise. The king ignored the letter and tried to punish the colonies.
So what did the Second Continental Congress do? They created a what for the colonies?
Army.
An army for the colonies. Who did they name the leader of the army?
George Washington.
George Washington, thank you. And then what is the second thing that they did? They wrote a letter to who?
The King of Britain.
The King of Great Britain, and asked him for what? A compromise. Does anyone remember what a compromise is? Do you remember what a compromise is? So a compromise is agreeing to give something up to end an argument, remember? So both sides give something up to come to an agreement to end an argument without fighting, without violence. But the King of Great Britain didn't want to compromise with the colonies, so they went to war. I know, right?
The third, and the most important thing the Second Continental Congress did was write and declare the Declaration of Independence. This document was written by Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Robert Livingston, Roger Sherman and Thomas Jefferson. The Declaration of Independence said that the colonies wanted to be free from Great Britain.
So what was the last thing that the Second Continental Congress did? They wrote the what?
The Declaration of Independence.
They wrote the Declaration of Independence. who?
The Great Britain.
From Great Britain. Great Britain or Mexico? Is it Great Britain or Mexico?
Great Britain.
Britain. They just being crazy over here saying Mexico.
Taco Tuesdays on that.
The Declaration said why the colonists wanted their freedom. They believed people had the right to live free and be happy. They thought the king had taken away those rights with the taxes and laws he made.
So the colonists believed that they had the right to live free and be happy, and they thought the king had taken that right away by what? Giving them the taxes and laws. Very good. Do you remember? Very good. Do you remember some of the taxes that the king gave the colonists? There was the Stamp Act. Remember the Sugar Act, the tax on sugar, and what was the other big one? What was it called? Yeah, there was a tax on tea, and they decided to dump all the tea in the ocean.
The Declaration said why the colonists wanted their freedom.
The colonists got mad and they dumped all the tea in the ocean. That was the Boston Tea Party.
The members of the Second Continental Congress agreed to and signed the Declaration of Independence. The United States of America was born. The colonists became Americans. This made the King of Great Britain very mad.
So after the Declaration of Independence was born, or was signed, what was born?
America.
America was born. Very good. And then the colonists became American citizens. Did the king like that? Or did that make him mad?
Mad.
It made him very mad. Very good. All right, so our timeline. April 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord began the Revolutionary War. In May 1775, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. In June 1775, George Washington was named the leader of the army. And then in July 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed and the United States of America was born. Woohoo! All right, let's hop over and do some comprehension questions. So, the first blank was in Lexington. The first freedom, battle, Americans, army, or leaders.
Battles.
The first battle, very good. Oh. There we go. The blank wanted to stop the fighting. Who wanted to stop the fighting?
The American.
Let's think. So the leaders of the Second Continental Congress met to try to find a way to not have a war. So who wanted to stop the fighting?
The leader.
The leaders. Very good.
Leaders.
Leaders.
Future America.
Yeah, but they weren't Americans yet.
You were on the right track.
The colonies made a what? Freedom, Americans, or army?
Army.
An army. Very good.
Army.
Green. Armies.
The colonies wanted blank from Great Britain. Did they want freedom or Americans from Great Britain?
Freedom.
Freedom. They wanted to be free.
Freedom.
Green.
So then the colonists were now what? What were the colonists after the Declaration of Independence was signed? Americans. I heard someone. Thank you.
Americans.
Green.
All right, we'll do one more set.
Americans. Green.
And then we'll be all done. All right. So at the Second Continental Congress, who was named the leader of the army? Paul Revere, George Washington, or Abraham Lincoln?
George
George Washington.
George Washington. Very good. Does anyone remember who Paul Revere was?
Overview was
said, "The British are coming, the British are coming." He warned everyone. All right, who did the leaders, or what did the leaders ask for in the letter to the king? A compromise, money, or tea? What did they ask for?
Compromise.
Oh, a compromise. Thank you.
Green.
What said the colonies wanted to be free from Great Britain? The Star Spangled Banner, the Declaration of Independence, or the dictionary?
D.
The Declaration of Independence. Very good. What did the Declaration of Independence say people had the right to do? Live free and be happy, sleep all winter, or get free money?
A.
Live free and be happy. I wish it said get free money.
Free happy.
Wouldn't that be nice to get some free money? I wish. All right. What happened once the Declaration of Independence was signed? The war ended, the king said sorry, or the colonists became Americans?
The war ended.
What happened after the Declaration of Independence was signed? The United States of America was born. So who became American? The colonists became Americans.
Green.
The Declaration of Independence did not end the war. The war had only just begun.
Green.
All right, guys, you did a great job with that as usual.